Hey everybody, welcome back to a second tutorial on the StableGen.io platform. Today I will be going over, now that you have your newly created StableGen account and you are part of the private beta, or if you're watching this in the future, you won't actually need a private beta, you just need to make an account. We're going to go over today making characters and also then generating image assets for those characters. So when you first log in, you'll come to your dashboard here, and this will show your projects, scripts, characters, and stages. So we can look at all. I had made this actually in the last tutorial. So that's the only thing this new account has. But you come over here, you look at your characters, and then you create a new character. Today we will be making StableGen Man. And StableGen Man is the mascot of the StableGen website. Is smart, fast, fearless, and most of all, stable. So you can use this description here as the first part of highlighting features about your character that you want to have preserved. It's not necessary, and I'll show you that in a minute, but anyway, so you should start with that and then a source image, and you'll see it here. Okay, so I created this image in another site. I actually don't even remember where I made this, but so here is sort of the first piece of the sort of philosophy of StableGen is, you know, I use sites like this, you know, Whisk. Whisk is free. If you have a Google account, you can sign in, and it allows you to, you know, go through that whole creative flow, creating, you know, you can sort of iterate on all your character ideas. A lot of people really like Midjourney for this type of thing. But anyway, so StableGen, the platform, we sort of look at it as you sort of do that really kind of open-ended creative flow in whatever, you know, platform that you like, however you like. Maybe you even illustrate, or you're taking actual pictures of people, you know, however that happens, then you bring it to StableGen, and then we help you create different image assets in different poses with different expressions from these initial source images. So this is now, here's the main form here for creating these assets. So you have a bunch of different drop downs to choose from. You can pick the action that you want the image to look like. So standing, walking, you know, all these different ideas. And we will be adding, like, pretty soon, like a text option, so you can put a custom action. You know, we're trying to sort of thread this needle between making something that's just like really easy to use. You know, I don't know if you've ever, you know, gone through, you probably have if you're watching this video, these tutorials of, you know, all this prompt engineering and how you can sort of, you know, create an asset, you know, an image here and put a Midjourney, and how to get it to, you know, be consistent and all these things. So the idea is like, I wanted to make something that was like fast and repeatable, you know, because I was using these tutorials. So I came up with this idea of just giving these fixed choices, and then you can sort of quickly generate what you need, and the time spent on this part of the process can be, you know, cut down immensely. But I do think that having just all fixed options is probably a little constrictive. So I'm going to add a custom option here. So then you'll be able to sort of type in an action. But the idea is it still has the guardrails of an action. So whatever you put in here is going to be interpreted by an action. So, as an action, it's not like you don't have to sit here and spend a bunch of time thinking about, all the different prompt engineering things. You can just say, oh, I want them standing on 1 foot, or for some reason, you just type that in, and then you can sort of use everything else. So here's the different, here's the other options. You have zoom level, so you can do a headshot, medium shot, full body, the camera height. See here, overwhelming view, that's like above the person. Picture aspect ratio. So this is important when you're compositing, which you'll see later when we're making frames for videos. So your frames are going to be taking your different character images. Let's say you have a frame with StableGen man and some other character. You're going to pick one of these generated assets for each of those characters, and they'll be composited in. So one of the things you'll find is you should be thinking about the frame, like what is the aspect ratio of your movie or your video? Are you making this for social media? Then you should probably be making vertical. Is this going to be more of the standard kind of widescreen look? Then pick 16:9. You can also go ultra wide. So anyway. So we will, let's go widescreen, why not? And then your resolution, obviously that's that. This is also set at the script level. So when you are making your scripts and then eventually your frames, you kind of want to keep everything the same resolution. So, sort of think about that. We have a bunch of these different expressions here. Let's keep them happy, keep the vibes good. We can give change your camera angle a bit. We'll keep the light. So for something like this, which is like a cartoon drawing, the lighting is not as important. And now you picked your model. Actually, we are about to release Seedream 4.5, which is going to be great, is once we get into subscriptions where you're, no longer in private beta mode, but we're paying. Seedream 4.5 is far cheaper than Nano Banana. So that's something to think about. But this is the, new Nano Banana Pro. So this is, kind of the cutting edge. All right. So we picked all these. I'm going to keep it at 1K just to keep things moving more quickly. And then you just generate your asset. Let's see, this will take a little bit of time. You can, view the details of this asset here. You have, this is the type. So this is essentially just showing all of your choices that you made. The model that was used, aspect ratio, resolution, when it was created. So that's everything there. And we look, and there he is. So you go back to your guy. Now this is, an available asset here. It's interesting at Nano Banana Pro sort of really ups the detail there. Like it's a nicer drawing, but it's not really the same style as this kind of flat. So I wonder if you do this. So you give the same. It's interesting. So most of these, well, the generation pipelines are really worked out with, yeah, that's really interesting. So you could even, you can see sometimes that the actual new cutting edge model, which is far more expensive, doesn't really, isn't actually as consistent as the, old Nano Banana here, as you can see. So anyway, the idea is later on down the line, when you have these, you have these different assets. You're going to be using these to composite into your frames. And then obviously, you can just download these and use them in whatever application you would like. So that's all I wanted to show you today. I want to try to keep these things, pretty short. But yes, this is how you create characters and then generate assets for the characters in StableGen.